One sunny weekend, Tom the cat and Jerry the mouse decided to go on a camping trip. They had grown tired of their usual antics in the house and thought a change of scenery would be fun. They packed their bags with a tent, a fishing rod, marshmallows, and a map, and set off for the nearby forest. When they arrived at the campsite, they were greeted by tall trees, chirping birds, and a sparkling stream. "This is going to be great," Tom said, stretching his arms. Jerry nodded, already imagining the fun they would have. Their first task was to set up the tent. Tom unfolded the tent and tried to read the instructions, but Jerry, being impatient, started hammering stakes into the ground. "Wait, Jerry, we need to follow the steps," Tom said, but it was too late. The tent collapsed on top of them, leaving them tangled in fabric and ropes. After a lot of struggling and laughing, they finally managed to set it up, though it looked a little lopsided. Next, they decided to build a campfire. Tom gathered sticks and arranged them in a pile, while Jerry tried to light the fire with matches. But every time Jerry struck a match, a gust of wind blew it out. "Let me try," Tom said, but his big paws were too clumsy to hold the tiny matches. Finally, after many failed attempts, they got the fire going, only to realize they had forgotten the marshmallows. "I'll get them," Jerry said, darting back to the tent. But when he returned, he tripped over a root and sent the marshmallows flying into the fire, where they instantly melted. "Well, that's one way to roast marshmallows," Tom said with a chuckle. The next morning, they decided to try fishing in the stream. Tom brought his fishing rod, while Jerry fashioned a tiny fishing line out of a stick and some string. Tom cast his line into the water and waited patiently, but Jerry kept dipping his paws into the water. Suddenly, Tom felt a tug on his line. "I've got one," he shouted, reeling in his catch. But instead of a fish, he pulled up an old boot. Jerry burst out laughing, but his laughter was cut short when a curious fish jumped out of the water and landed right on his head. As the day went on, their camping trip became a series of hilarious mishaps. They tried to hike but got lost because Tom insisted he knew the way. He didn't. They tried to cook soup but accidentally used a spicy pepper instead of a tomato, leaving their mouths on fire. And when they tried to stargaze at night, they realized they had forgotten the flashlight and had to navigate their way back to the tent in the dark. Despite all the chaos, Tom and Jerry had the time of their lives. They laughed at their mistakes and enjoyed each other's company. As they sat by the campfire on their last night, roasting marshmallows properly this time, Tom said, "You know, Jerry, this trip didn't go as planned, but it was still amazing." Jerry smiled. "That's because we did it together, Tom. Even when things go wrong, it's better with a friend." And so, Tom and Jerry returned home with muddy paws, messy fur, and hearts full of memories. They knew that no matter where their next adventure took them, they would always have each other. And that was the best part of all. The end.